let's jump right into this. Delhi has obviously always been India's political capital. But man, over the past 3 decades, it has just exploded into one of the absolute largest urban sprawls on the planet. So today, in this explainer, we're unpacking something huge. It's a massive, unified strategy, a literally 1 lakh crore infrastructure revolution that is set to transform Delhi into this seamlessly interconnected megacity by 2035. We're talking about an overhaul so profound, it's going to completely redefine how millions of us live, work, and commute every single day. So, the big question is, how do you actually manage the sheer scale of the National Capital Region? I mean, when a city expands way beyond its traditional borders and you're dealing with endless traffic and multi-hour commutes, how do you fund and build a transport network that actually keeps it moving? It demands a colossal, continuous investment that pretty much rewrites the rulebook on urban planning. We're essentially looking at the financial engineering needed to keep the heart of a massive economy beating. To make sense of it all, we're going to break this explainer down into 4 key areas. First, the expanding megacity. Second, tracing the money. Third, transit megaprojects. And finally, transit-oriented development. Okay, let's start off with Section 1, the expanding megacity. If you take a step back, the reality is that Delhi just isn't a single contained city anymore. It's this sprawling, interconnected metropolitan region where state borders totally blur. Every single day, millions of people endure grueling commutes across Delhi, Gurugram, Noida, Ghaziabad, and Faridabad. You know the drill. People are constantly moving for work, education, healthcare, and it's putting an immense, almost unsustainable strain on the existing roads. And honestly, this is exactly why expanding public transit isn't just some nice-to-have luxury. It's absolutely the most critical economic investment the government can make. A functional rapid transit system literally gives you your time back. It slashes travel times, connects people to better jobs across the whole region, and fundamentally gets millions of polluting private vehicles off our heavily congested roads. It transforms hours lost in gridlock into actual productive time. Which brings us to Section 2, tracing the money. The numbers here are just staggering. The total outlay for the Delhi government's latest budget sits at 1.03 lakh crore rupees. That is a massive injection of capital dedicated to the future of the territory. And as we'll see, a highly strategic chunk of this is being deployed specifically to revolutionize urban mobility. Funding on this scale really proves that infrastructure is no longer an afterthought. It's the absolute priority. So out of that total budget, 8,374 crore rupees is carved out strictly for the Transport Department to fund these mega projects. To put that into perspective, nearly 35%, so about 2,885 crore rupees, is earmarked directly for pushing forward Delhi Metro Phase 4 and 5. Another 568 crore rupees goes to the high-speed NaMo Bharat regional rapid transit system, and the rest is dedicated to broader transport modernization. Every single rupee is strategically allocated to keep this booming population moving. But hey, the future isn't just on rails. The budget aggressively funds a massive transition to clean electric mobility right on the streets. The government has set a pretty wild target, 12,000 electric buses operating by 2029. Now that's a logistical mountain to climb. It requires massive funding not just for the buses, but for citywide charging infrastructure and the complete electrification of these huge bus depots. We're talking about upgrading the entire power grid to support thousands of heavy-duty vehicles charging all at once. Now, pulling off a network of this scale, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's like a giant puzzle requiring unprecedented collaboration across 6 key state and national agencies. You've got the Delhi Metro Rail Corporation, the NCR Transport Corporation, and the NHAI all having to work in tandem. When you think about the coordination involved in syncing up highway expansions with deep underground tunnels and elevated transit tracks, it is just monumental to ensure the whole region grows as one cohesive unit. All right, let's move to Section 3, approved transit megaprojects. The crown jewel of all this is definitely the expansion of the Delhi Metro. With official approval from the Prime Minister's office, major Phase 4 corridors are moving forward. Vital links like Aerocity to Tughlaqabad and the Ritala to Kundli extension. These lines aren't just adding stations. They're creating these crucial interchange hubs that will finally bring fast, reliable rail access to fast-growing outer neighborhoods that are currently just choking on road traffic. It's going to be a real game changer for Delhi commuters. And then simultaneously, you've got the NaMo Bharat RRTS. Actually, this is an entirely different beast from the standard metro. Hitting speeds of up to 160 kilometers per hour, it's designed specifically for high-speed cross-border commutes. It links Delhi with neighboring cities across the broader NCR, slashing inner-city travel times to just a fraction of what a highway commute would take. It essentially shrinks the geographic footprint of the entire region.
Next up, Section 4, Transit-Oriented Development.
This right here is where the physical rails meet urban design. Because modern cities aren't planning life around highways anymore. They're building around public transit hubs. This is called transit-oriented development, or TOD. It's a deliberate strategy to zone higher-density housing, office spaces, and retail directly adjacent to transit stations. The ultimate goal? You should be able to step out of your apartment, go to work, grab a coffee, and get groceries without ever needing a car. This is a massive paradigm shift for the city. For decades, the default was just endless urban sprawl, right? Which just forced everyone into private cars on wider, more congested highways. Delhi is officially pivoting away from that toward a highly connected, compact growth model. By building vertically and densely around metro corridors, the city becomes more walkable, more energy efficient, and honestly, much more breathable. It's about building neighborhoods for people, not just parking lots for cars. And that leads us to our conclusion, the future of Delhi. So when we zoom out and look at the whole shebang, the overarching strategy becomes really clear. Delhi is not looking for a silver bullet here. It is executing a massive, simultaneous expansion across every single mode of transport at once. By advancing the metro, launching the RRTS, deploying those 12,000 electric buses, upgrading highways, and redesigning neighborhoods through smart TOD, the city is totally rewriting how millions of people will experience urban life. But as this 1 lakh crore master plan transitions from paper budgets to actual concrete pillars, it leaves us with one fascinating question. Where exactly will these new mega interchanges be built? Like, which specific neighborhoods are going to see their property values and connectivity skyrocket next? That is exactly what we'll be covering in our next explainer, so you'll definitely want to stick around to see what this shifting landscape means for you.